Hello, it's Greg Allison Green Rigs coming to you live on the wee hours of 21 January 23. Time on deck is 0040 hours Central Standard Time. My friends, world's gone wacky. Weather's getting wacky. We are dealing with the potential throes of world war and economic crash that's going to make us all sore. Guys, it's just nut job time, guys. So button up your hatches and let's go for this. Let me talk about some stuff here. I am going to update my screen here real fast since this is a live session. It is late. Guys, I've been 2 hours on the phone, 2 hours on the phone on hold to try to get a hold of GoDaddy. My email's not working. And I can send email from it, but it will not receive email to my Green Regs email, which is a sad state of affairs considering that I've got also problems with my website and I have my email working to get my website fixed, guys. So I'm kind of in a pickle. I've never had my email not working. I've had problems with my website before, but I've never had my email not working. So I'm kind of stuck because like to get the code to log into Elementor to work on my website, they only send it to my email. Oh, Jesus. And my email is not working. And I was on the phone on hold for 2 hours and I gave up. I just gave up because it's already almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So, okay, what now am I really going to be able to accomplish at this point? So anyway, guys, sometimes it's too much adventure. I thought you were in bed. No, I've been trying. I'm always working, guys. I'm trying to get my website fixed. Nobody can buy worms from me right now. My buttons aren't working. I had a problem where I couldn't go in and edit my website. Now I got it where I can edit it, but I can't, I can't until I get it's got issues with part of the program I use to edit. I use WordPress and I use Elementor with WordPress, and the Elementor's got an issue. To fix the Elementor, I got to have my email working. The email's not working. So I'm kind of caught and I won't be able to resolve it till tomorrow. Unfortunately, I suppose. You know, I'd really hope we got that resolved today, tonight. Anyway, it is what it is. Dial's busted. Hey, Judy, how you doing? She's in the house. 210-3, VidCom. All right. All right, guys. So let's get into this. VidCom's ordered. VidCom, you got some worms from me, right? Did you get them? Did they come in? Yeah. I need to go in and enter some tracking numbers. So everybody should get their worms by today, I would suppose. I know some are due on Friday. The folks that ordered worms from me. Maybe you were one of the ones that ordered worms from me. So anyway, let me share some articles here. Bicycle Rider, how you doing, buddy? All righty, let's go in and share some stuff. And now we got a few people in the room, only 39. Yeah, we're late, guys. Sorry about that. But I just have so much stuff to do. What internet browser are you using? It don't matter what internet browser I'm using. It's independent of that. It's in the software for fixing it. It's all on the GoDaddy hosting or the tool I'm using, WordPress, Elementor. I have worms in my poop. There you go, Mr. Gray. Well, I hope it's not the poop that's coming out of you. That don't sound good. Hope it's in a worm bed. Tricia Hammock, how you doing? All right, guys. So let's move on here. Let's keep the talk family friendly, guys. If you don't, the mods will get you. Hey, New Days, good to see you. She's probably wondering if I was going live. Didn't go live last night. My normal go-to nights for going live at least would be Wednesday nights and Friday nights on when I'm not doing farmers markets. If I'm doing farmers market, they ain't gonna be on Friday nights. But and everything else is just kind of a bonus. I mean, I try to go other nights, but it's not intended to be an every night thing. Got too much to do, but I have been on a lot just because sometimes I don't have time to put together a video and properly upload it, which is better for my channel than coming live, honestly. And if I had time, I would just do that, but videos posted real late just don't perform. They don't perform at all unless they're live. So that after a certain point in time, live takes, some advantages. But, I don't know. It's a lot of work either way. Working third shift, waiting for the bombs to drop. Yow, Mr. Gray. That may happen. Let's do some sharing, guys. Let's look at some stuff going on here. La 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 la. Here we go. Talking bombs that drop. I don't know if y'all know, but this is the article telling you how the Russians have put missile defense systems on a bunch of rooftops in Moscow. They have lined them everywhere with these missile defense missiles, and that indicates that they're expecting an attack. Now, I know this was covered a little bit by Lee Wilbarger, I guess, yesterday. Why is my screen looking black? Are y'all seeing a black screen? Y'all should be, okay, there it is. Yeah. Sometimes I guess there's a delay. Hey, Patrick, how you doing? So, yeah, I'm gonna show y'all some stuff. We'll talk about a few other things, and we're going to go over to Swivelhead News and talk about the World Economic Forum in a little bit. Some of the stuff coming out of them. Just kidding about the worms. Okay. Well, you know, if they're in a worm bed with a horsey in it, yeah, I can see that. Be careful now. Jesse, how you doing? All righty. So Russia is expecting something. They're expecting to be hit. Now, we do know that Vladimir Zelensky has talked about actually, you know, putting the Russian leaders, Putin and so forth, under trial for war crimes. You can only do that if you take Moscow, if you attack Moscow. You know, they got to roll their troops all the way to Moscow to pull off something like that. So do you see that happening, guys? I mean, that's kind of hard to believe, but that's also an attack on Moscow. And if you attack Moscow, then Russians would consider that an existential threat, because that means the end of the government. That's the kind of thing they would fight a neat war over. They tell us over and over and over. And they're even saying that Ukraine is an existential threat. And there are some American defense and intelligence officers who are agreeing with that. They're saying, oh yeah, Ukraine is considered by Russians to be an existential matter for them, that if they lose there. And then there's that thing I've been telling you about. And I've seen articles to buttress this. Even I told you about way before I saw any articles on that Putin's life would be over if he loses. If he loses this war, he's finished. And usually the leaders, their own life is what counts more than anything. That's what makes this whole thing risky. Makes it risky. But, you know, we got people saying, you know, hey, a lot of people says, well, Russia would never do anything. And then others will say, oh, yeah, they would. You know, this is Russian roulette, basically. So what chances do you want to take with this? I don't know, guys. It's a real dilemma. It's a real dilemma what's going on over there. It puts us all at risk. If America wanted to take out Russian military defense buildings, we could drop 2,000-pound JDAM on it, and Russia would never see the plane. Yeah, JDAMs are something else. But, you know, they got the dead hand switch in Russia. If their system doesn't detect I've covered this on videos. I've talked about this a few times. I have some time back. If their systems don't detect signal from Moscow, and if it appears if there are seismic or any other indications that are indicative or to a nuclear bomb being used, everything gets launched. It's automatic. We have systems where it's hard for us to launch stuff, but their systems, yeah, Dr. Strangelove. This is very Dr. Strangelovian, this whole system. Like the Doomsday device in Dr. Strangelove, they actually built one. I don't know, it's real strange, guys. They actually built one. So that's part of the risk we've got. If they turn that on, then it can all go. And, you know, who's to say that system couldn't have errors in it? Have you unplugged it and plugged it back in? Plugged what, Michael Fit? Plug what? You talking about my website? It don't matter what computer you go to. You can't go to my website right now and order worms. And my email, I can send email from my email, but I can't read it. And so I've got this computer, I got this computer, and I got this. No, man, I can't read email. All the emails stopped going to my main account yesterday. It's got 0 email sent. I can actually send the email from it will not receive. And when I go into GoDaddy's backdoor screen page where I'm supposed to be able to manage my email. It doesn't tell me there's anything wrong with it. It doesn't say anything. So there's some issues there. Oh, you're talking to Judy about her TV. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Judy, oh, your TV one. I got you, Judy. So you're having some problems watching us. So we had a proxy war with Russia before this USSR ghost wars. Yeah, we have, but we never got the point of posing an existential threat to them, what they think is an existential threat. Secret history of the CIA, Afghanistan, bin Laden. Oh, yeah. That wasn't too secret, Patrick. It was pretty obvious. Look, Vietnam War, even in the Korean War, it turned out that a lot of our guys that got captured and went to POWs were taken to Russia. Not only that, it turns out a lot of the North Korean fighter jets had Russian pilots from Russia in the fighter jet. So plus, you know, there were Chinese. We actually directly fought Chinese in the Korean War. So, and our troops were really shocked dealing with human waves. Hey, why? Yeah, nugs. Yeah, the funny thing about the Korean waves, not Korean, the waves of Chinese soldiers, they only gave the first few guys in the line weapons. And when they got shot down, the guys behind them would pick them up and keep going. When they got shot down, the guys behind them would pick them up and keep going. When they got shot down, the guys behind them would pick them up and keep going. So they had more people than nugs. Now, some people say the Russians can't fight because they don't have enough equipment. That's the way the Russians have always fought. That's how they eventually won in Leningrad and other places. They never had enough equipment or the best equipment. They just threw people at it until they finally prevailed. Alabama Duramax. What's up, Arnold? Arnold's up in Alberta. All right, so let me switch some screens here. This article. Yes, this is an article that just verifies something I've been saying for a long time, ever since this war started. In fact, I said this about dictators in general. You know, should they start a war or anything like that? I was saying that I was using this kind of language about dictators in general years ago on a lot of my old videos. You can go back 3 years ago and find videos where I've talked about this kind of deal here. And now finally I'm being vindicated by authors and analysts. Finally, these analysts are coming out and saying what I said. Okay, now don't go at me every time I click on something, because, you know, am I reading this article? No, I'm telling you my take on the subject. Doesn't even mean that's what this article says. Okay, same with what I'm about to click on here. So some people have a cow if I click on something. I use a lot of these things just, I'm not even going to talk about the article I'm about to show you. Okay, I'm using it as a prompt. Bam. Okay, so don't have a cow because of who's here. Yeah, I don't give a flip about CNBC. Okay, some people go, oh, Greg, you're a shield. You want to report my answer? No, that's a bunch of bull. I'm not even reading this article. So, but I'm going to talk about it in general. I'm going to tell you what this article won't tell you. Okay, China can't. Yeah, this is the French position that's coming out in Davos. We're going to talk about this stinking Davos meeting on my other channel right after this on Silverhead News. China cannot be out. China must be in, said France. Well, see, what's going on here is the French are doing what they've always done. They want to be the big cheese. They want to recreate Napoleon's European empire with France being the central power in it. And they wanted to do that ever since World War II, after we saved them from the Nazis. They've had this big dream of great power again. And Macron is really big on that. But he's got a lot of, you know, he's not getting there from here. Russia shot plenty of their own people in World War II. Yeah, I assume they do. So do the, and you expect the same in by the CCP. And, you know, all these autocratic countries are like that, guys. That's why you don't want an autocratic system. That's why you don't want a one-party political power running your country. The two political powers we got, you know, aren't all that great and wonderful either right now, but you let one party take over, it becomes absolute power, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And none of these, you know, any party that requires to be a sole party to survive, they have to stomp out all the other parties, then they're automatically corrupt and suspect, because that means they can't, their politics are put together by lies, and they can't survive truth. They can't survive in the free market of competition of ideas because their concepts are bankrupt. Yet we have a lot of young people in this country today that think that freedom of speech is bad, so we should ban it, and that these one-party systems are the way to go. This system or that system like that, they may not see that and understand that these parties, when they take over, are always become a one-party system, and that is extremely corrupt. How you doing, Drops? So when are you planning on going over to Soulhead News? In just a little bit here. I'm going to do it for the topics over here on the right side of my screen. So, and these are dealing with Davos, and let's see, we're going to talk about Christopher Wray. Oh yeah, that knucklehead at Davos. We're going to talk about Klaus Schwab. We're going to talk about some other stuff. Oh yeah, and some oddball topics over here. And yeah, we're even going to talk some bang bang nug news. Yeah, we'll do that on Swivelhead. And we're going to talk about electric vehicles. Now, what are we going to do those? We're going to do those in Swivelhead or do that over here? All right, let's switch. So, oh yeah, my point, I didn't even make my point. And my point ain't the point of this article. My point here is that the French, they really are trying hard to set their own system up. They're not going to prevail because there's other forces, at least don't look like it, in play in Europe, including, you know, Turkey also wants to have the same kind of power. And the power dynamic really isn't set for them very well right now for all these things to occur. That's a whole nother video. It would take a lot of time to explain. Just suffice it to say, the French have been like this for a long time. When I was in the Army, they weren't even part of NATO. And in fact, they were a little bit on, you know, they were cutting a lot of deals with the USSR. And so, you know, we didn't exactly trust France. The troops did not trust France when I was in the Army. So, you know, I was stationed at Fort Bragg. You know, we always had this notion that would probably get sent to Europe in a war, that we'd be sent to Germany to defend Germany with our red blood, American blood. But we were going to have that Frenchman in our back. So the old joke used to be, what happens if you wind up in Germany and the balloon goes up? That was our catchphrase for the war starts. And so the answer was, well, you turn around and so you got the Frenchman in your back and the Russians in front of you. What do you do? And the answer was, you turn around and shoot the Frenchman, and then you go fight the Russians. That was the joke. You know, believe it or not, that's what the soldiers would say. Now, I'm not saying that's what it ought to be or should be, and I'm not advocating banging anybody or shooting anyone. So that's not what we're on here for. I'm just telling you the old joke as a matter of illustrating the fickleness of French. France wants to play their own game. They want to be the big cheese in the world. They'll never be the big cheese, but they're definitely in a pretty good position overall within the sphere of Europe, but not quite to take them where they want to go. So yeah, they will be a country that will not do badly if they don't get run over. So, you know, if they get overrun, I don't know, they might be like their ancestors and fall in a week or two, who knows? But otherwise, France, you know, France has a lot of attributes. France has a lot of ways to be more independent than a lot of European countries, but they're not strong enough to go where they want to go. And you know, Germany is demographically is faltering. They're going to lose ground. They'll never be back where they're at now for a long time. But Poland's got some promise. So we'll just have to see how things play out in the next, you know, 10, 20 years. All righty. So let's change topics here. So what's the next one here up? Oh yeah. You know what? I got another article here on this topic. Let's see if I can mix them. Yeah, let's put these together. Wow. Wow, in fact, let's put this in first. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk EVs on this. Man plugs in his electric truck and learns it'll take a week to charge. Is that just so you can drive it for a day? Now, I'm not going to read this article, but guys, you know, they found a lot of trouble driving or charging these vehicles when it was cold. Lots of problems charging when it's cold. Also, when it's cold, if you're in an electric vehicle and you get out in the on some long trip and you get caught up where traffic can't move, like a lot of vehicles that get stranded in a blizzard or snowstorm, you can't run the engine to stay warm. Yeah, batteries are going to run down. So there's a lot of disadvantages electric vehicles. It won't crank, there's a lot of disadvantages electric vehicles. But what's somebody saying here? Let's see what this is. Jason says France has always done this. They paid Norsemen not to burn Paris. Yeah. And what the Norsemen do, they conquered the northern part of France. And from Normandy, which means Norseman, Normandy, they invaded England, the Norsemen, in 1066. Yeah, Hastings. And I had ancestors that were part of that invasion that invaded England in 1066. So my ancestors were the invaders. I did not know that until a few years ago, but yeah, my ancestors were the invaders. And then I had other ancestors that were supposedly French, and I found out, well, they were also from Normandy. So that's how I wound up being all Viking. Yeah, I didn't understand that when I saw the genetic test. How am I all Viking? I got ancestors from here and ancestors from here. Oh, they were all Vikings. All right, drops. Yeah, well, don't necessarily suspect that in a Southerner. Greg supports the wrenches. Oh, no. What do you mean by that? It's all wrenches tonight. Everybody's got a wrench. Holy smoke. Give me the wrenches. All right. I can tell. Yeah, well, yeah, you can see I got it in me. If you lose power, you can plug it into your house and have power. Yeah, you ain't going nowhere though, are you? Yeah, we can run around the house with an extension cord in your EV. Well, some states are not happy with this EV stuff. Why? Because California said, oh, you can't have a gas burning vehicle after year 2035, 2030, 2035. New York's going that direction. And the three major car makers in the United States decided they're going to quit making internal combustion engines. Toyota did not decide that, though, by the way. I said three major. I mean, Ford, Chrysler, and Chevrolet, or GM, General Motors. But Toyota's not going down that road. And Toyota's got an engine plant real close to me here, in fact. So it's interesting. Maybe Toyota's becoming more American than our American vehicles. I don't know. But see, red state backlash. Now this article, and here's where just because I show an article don't mean I'm going there. This article is probably leaning toward, oh, this is terrible. Look, it's incoherent. Well, actually, I think it's a good thing. So you got to understand what I'm doing on a show. I use articles just as prompters to talk. I don't read you the article, seldom. I have seen other YouTubers, that's what they do. I'm just using this as a conversation prompt just to show you that this is in the news. I think it's interesting. That's a fun thing that a lot of red states are actually banning the EVs. I think people should have freedom to get whatever they want, honestly. But, hey, you can't blame them. This is a way to kind of thumb the nose at the car makers. Oh, you want to sell cars here? Not if you're going to make them all electric. Forget about it. So let's rattle their chains. It's time to kick back some dust. Yeah, you're right, Felicia. California, whatever, yeah. I don't lose power. I'm off grid. Okay, David, that's good. Drops wants to post his wife soap site. Drops not got a wrench in here? I think he does. All right, that's fine. Drops. The wise patriot business. All right, so all right, guys. People exposed it. Now here's another story. Yeah, if we're gonna do all that, hang on, guys. We'll have to shrink this down a little bit. Yeah, sometimes I can't see my own screens. I got stuff up. Still can't. Scratch down the wrong way. Hey, all I can say is, yeah, I don't have it. I had to close a bunch of screens, put all these up, so it's not on here right now. I don't see it. There it is. Oh, here we are. Yeah, do consider this, guys. Prepwithgreg.com. We got some really deep special discounts in here right now. Given that prices have gone up so much, the fact that they still got these discounts is pretty darn amazing. And quite frankly, they say $200 off here. Oh, total savings of $380. Oh, that's different. Oh, wait, they changed the package on us, guys, completely. What we got here? Oh, yeah, it's the 3 month. Yeah, it's the 3 month supply. But they're throwing some other stuff in here, guys. Look at all this. Solo stove light. Survival spring water filter. Whoa. The world? Simply purchase a 3 month supply, get $200 off, and 11 pieces of the best survival gear free. Holy smoke. Wow, grub tools, drinking water. All right, everybody needs something to do, I guess. Solo stove light, survival, personal. Okay, this is what you get, guys. That's pretty amazing. $5.97. All right, basics, camping gear type stuff. Okay, get your straw, you get your little stove, some playing cards, some multi-tool spoons, instant fire starter, water purification tablets. That's not bad. Some emergency blankets. And if y'all don't have them now, see, I got all that kind of stuff covered myself. Well, that little stove's kind of cool. Anyway, so there you go, guys. They just changed the deal completely. Check that out. That might entertain y'all. I didn't realize they changed it. I probably sent me an email today and I didn't get it, like everything else I might get. All right. People exposed to weed killer have chemical biomarkers in their urine. No, cancer biomarkers. Cancer biomarkers. Let's talk about Roundup. Just remember, guys, it wasn't just a year ago, 2 years ago, before the lawsuit they lost, that Roundup, actually Roundup is now a Bayer product, but it used to be a product of Monsanto. And Monsanto was telling us, oh, it's safe. It's perfectly safe. All our tests have shown it's perfectly safe to use this product. It is good. It is good for you. It helps farmers grow food. It's safe. Oh, they swore up and down by it, and they would pull out studies on anybody, challenge them. They would beat them up and browbeat them. And I got attacked on social media because I was putting up stuff. Let me stop the share for a minute. I would post stuff, about my problem with GMO food isn't that the food being altered itself as much as what they use that for. They use the alteration of beans and corn and cotton so that they will survive Roundup. So when you spray Roundup on it, or what is glyphosate, that the crop survives. That spray, it kills the weeds. So I wasn't ever so concerned about the alterations they actually made to those crops, the genetic alterations they made for them to survive. It was the glyphosate that worried me. It was the glyphosate, the tons of glyphosate they put on it. But now, here's the other thing. It's not just on corn and soybeans. Wheat. They use glyphosate to kill wheat. They want to get it all brown at the same time so they can harvest it. They use glyphosate to dry the wheat out for harvesting. And I'm told that they even use it after that to further dry it after it's harvested. So wheat, which goes in your bread, almost any kind of bread, flour-based product is deluged in glyphosate. And it's not even GMO. It's the use of glyphosate that has me really worried. Now, if something's GMO, you know it's got the glyphosate up. But you better know even bread, which may not have a GMO, is got tons of glyphosate in it. Yeah, it's in the soil. It takes years for that soil to recover. Buying cars on the market, yeah, 92,000. Yeah, thanks, Montesano. Thanks, Bear. So they would fight you. And you know, there's a so-called friend on my Facebook site who, oh, he got mad. Oh, you're not scientists. You're not scientific. You're anti-science because you don't favor the use of these chemicals. And I said, dude, you're nuts. And I said, this stuff is causing problems and they're sweeping on the rug. And I knew about other problems associated with like long-term fertility issues. And I had read studies that had indicated that animals, after multi-generations of eating heavily from glyphosate foods, lose their fertility. They lose their ability to reproduce. And there were some of our friends that had worm farms in South Georgia. I warned them about that. I said, look, your worms, you're using cotton hulls to raise your worms in. I said, you're going to quit having worms. They make lots of generations of worms. I said, if you don't change, you're going to lose them all. And they did. Yeah, they got where they couldn't raise worms anymore. So I'd started out to use a mix of that when I very first started up. When I read what that was in that stuff, I said, no. I'm going to do another video. How do worms respond to Roundup? The point I just made is that glyphosate has a multi-generational impact on the reproductive capacity of animals, according to some studies I'd seen. And from what I've seen on worm farms that have used glyphosate cotton hulls, their worms wiped out. There is one exception. There's one worm farm I know that's used a lot of that. Their original worm herd's wiped out, but it's been replaced by blue worms. So it's not, they don't have the original herd anymore. The original herd did die out, but blue worms come in invasively, but they'll probably die out too. So users can buy ping flying vehicles of Bitcoin. Okay. I heard you. I wrote it before you explained it. Permaculture can fix the soil. Yeah, well, the problem is it takes time for the glyphosate byproducts all to degrade. Years. It will eventually, but it does take years. I mean, it breaks down. It's no longer glyphosate, but the byproducts after it have their own toxicities. It takes years. So this is not a good thing. Hey, Lady Dagger Status, you're in the room? Where you been? Haven't seen you in a while. Oh, we got Norway in the house. All right, very good. Hey, Lady Dagger Status, hadn't seen you in a while. Good to see you. All right, see if y'all don't show up for a while, I miss you. All right. Hey, Norway, we were talking about Norse just a little bit ago. Anyway, so yeah, that's what bothers me about GMO. It's how GMO is used. Now, if they would use GMO technology to maybe grow a perennial plant instead of annual, a perennial plant that will grow about yay tall, and then shooters that would bear fruit like wheat, and if it could just come over to harvest it without having to replant everything all the time and tear the soil up, and that would be pretty awesome for crop technology. You know, it would save a lot of fuel, time, effort, root growth, more of the, yeah, it's a carcinogen. But see, they didn't want to admit that. They fought that. They fought. I mean, he had tons of so-called scientific studies that all prove, oh, this don't have no effect. But they were all done in-house and sponsored by Monsanto and labs they were sponsoring. All these studies, it's all coming. Oh, this is good stuff. There's nothing wrong with study after study, scientific review board after scientific review board, and then we're all compromised. See, my response to this knucklehead who was telling me, "Oh, you're anti-science." I said, "You know, science is good. Sometimes the scientist got his finger on the scale because he's got a bias, or maybe he's getting money out of this. So he puts his finger on the scale, so the numbers don't come out right." And here's another thing. I have worked in scientific and engineering organizations my entire career. I can write a report, tell you what the problem, what the issue is. By the time it goes up the chain and goes through the management, it tells a different story. Because management is going to put their spin on it. Everything you read, it's got that spin. Then going to bed early. Oh, Mr. Lies. Sorry for being so late. It just takes me a while to put all this stuff together. Takes time to put all that. Yep, money talks. Exactly. And how about all these guys talking about the climate? They get lots of money from federal grants. So that's just it. There's a lot of prejudice in the system. April 27th, tornado picked up Roundup in tanks and spilled them all around here. Oh, Mike, where you located? You're in my neighborhood. You must be. Oh, yeah. How close were you to the nuke plant? Are you in Athens? Or just this side of Athens? Oh, yeah, you live close. You're talking about that. Yeah, my worms came the day before. That was in 2011. April 26, 2011. So I first got my worms. I've been building worm beds and stuff and studying for a year before I started in that. You folks, yeah. Mount Hope, okay. Good to see you here. Got to come up and see me sometime. I'm always so darn busy. But anyway, all right, guys, let's go back into the share mode here and go back into these articles. I just wanted to talk to you. I'll tell you what my concerns about glyphosate is. See, but now it's coming out, and now they're telling us, oh, it's now. See, now they lost a lawsuit, and the courts are finally prevailed against Monsanto Bayer. And then the other scientific studies started showing up more, and it wasn't buried so much because they lost. Major lawsuit. Now we're seeing this. You see, we were considered conspiracy theorists if you thought this. You were a nut job if you believe this kind of stuff. That's what I got told. You're anti-science. No, the science you're reading isn't worth a dog. All right, so that's what I'm going to tell you right there, guys. So there it is. And this stuff, yeah, don't use it. I always hated that all the commercials for this junk showed people killing the dandelion. You should kill the grass and grow dandelions only. Dandelions are great. Grass is gross. Dandelions should be the only thing you grow in your garden or yard or food. Yeah, you're right, Jason. It's not a match made in heaven. Hello, Greg, you got here, you're giving out federal work grants. What? I'm not giving any federal work grants. World Court of Monsanto about glyphosate, PCBs, GMOs, exactly. I was working on searching for the big rock. I'll tell you, oh, okay. What about the big rock? Big rock, Candy Mountain. All right, hey, boy, I tell you, the Gates of Bill was really pushing this money. He invested heavily in two different companies. But guess what? This shows that we don't have to take their junk, guys. We don't have to eat the junk they dish at us. Yeah, just like the bugs. And now they're going to grow artificial meat in a petri dish. You know, guys, yeah, I think there's going to be other stuff in it. Yeah, they fill the stuff with chemicals. Of course, this has soy in it, and this stuff. Well, they make, you know, soy burgers laced and laden with this junk. You know, our fertility rates are dropping like a rock. Wonder why, guys. Anyway, talk freedom for a minute. Here's an article where the guy is asking, do Americans have the backbone and common sense to restore free enterprise, prosperity? What do you think? You know, I talk about this a lot. My competitive video talked about that, guys. So, you know, what's the case on this? What do y'all think? You get salt from dandelions from the roots. Yeah, they pull minerals from deep up. They actually replenish your soil. Worm grants. No, I don't get no grants like that. Might could apply for them, but I ain't got time to try to chase all those grants down. Let's see. Today's Tennessee didn't have mandated insurance. Then. Dandelions salad, yeah. Yeah, you can't digest grass. You can't eat grass. Dandelions are good. You make coffee out of the roots. part of a dandelion plant's edible, except those puffy seeds. and they're medicinally, they're wonderful. Yeah, it's bitter, but you know, it makes it interesting salad, right, lady? So, and they're very strong medicinally for fighting colds, and different things. Yeah, I've taken a dandelion tea for that, and I found it was pretty powerful. Dandelion honey. I'm not sure that dandelion's got the pollen that makes the honey, but I don't know with the dog. So, backbone here. Yeah, our country is slipping towards socialism. I had another article on that. I don't think I got it in line right spot here. Our country seems to be slipping towards socialism. And, you know, this is going to be an issue, guys. We've got to wake the young people up. We're losing our edge. Talked about this a lot already. I think I'm going to skip. I may come back to it on Galactic or on Silverhead News. Biden wants to let them in, but he doesn't want them to work. Well, I guess we're going to dish money at them. So that's what's breaking our economy, guys. Everybody here needs work. Nectar makes honey, not pollen. Okay, there you go. You're right, Michael. Public officials are more likely to accept bribes. Yeah, you still find pollen in a bee's nest, though. That's sold separately, though. You're right. Public officials are more likely to accept bribes in China than in any other country. Why? Because China's got the biggest bureaucracy in a single party system in the planet. And they are corrupt to the core. Yes, lady, they're dumbing it down one generation at a time. They're trying to make each generation dumber than the successive one. Because they're trying to put us all in under the control of something like the CCP. So, yeah, it's a sad situation, guys. Very sad. But China's extremely corrupt, and it's costing them a lot. And you don't have equal opportunity in a system like that. You don't have the opportunity to excel, to go places, to compete. You know, the people who get the cushy jobs, the good jobs, aren't the ones that are best at it. It's the ones that are connected. They're high up in the political party, or they're the kid of somebody that's high up in the political party. It's a very parochial, very corrupt system. Very corrupt. And that's exactly what you expect in one party system. Any one party system is going to become corrupt to the core. Oh, yeah, there you go, Cha-Cha. Thanks for showing those ingredients there. And payment says, with young people, the psychological warfare is extremely damning. Yeah, that's why we really need to help them out, guys. That's why I said we need to encourage them and teach them about the values of things such as competition. They're scared of it. They shouldn't be scared of it. That's what I was covering in one of my videos recently, because they should embrace it. And you're not going to win at everything, but you get to find out where you do excel. Everybody's got their own niche. And when you find a niche you're good at, that's what you go with. But sometimes you got to try different things. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Or as Texans that are chasing Texas says, if at first you don't succeed, try again. California's next flood could destroy one of the most diverse cities. They're talking about Stockton. We need 10 foot of water. Well, yeah. Look at this. And see, I don't take things by. I'm not going to read you this article. I don't even agree with this article. I'm about to blow this article to pieces. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, because of climate change. Well, excuse me. In 1862, Central Valley in California was under 30 feet of water. 30 feet of water. I guess it was because of the climate change back then, right? That's probably why Wild Bill Cody had to go out and kill all them darn buffaloes, right? Because, yeah. 30 feet of water. In 1862, all the cows in California drowned. They had 120 inches fall in the span of 2 months in the spring, while they also had the snow melt going on in the mountains. Central Valley was a central ocean, a lake. It took it months to drain out, through San Francisco. So I guess that area would have been pretty flooded too. Guys, it would have been horrendous, 30 feet of water. So this article wants to blame everything on climate change. Now, it does cite the historical event, but it's all due to climate change. Everything is climate change, and all these writers, all these authors, I guess you can't be a writer unless you can talk this language. If you don't want to talk this language, you don't exist in their systems. They're full of it. Because this happened to a worse case than what they're talking about here 150 years ago. So just flush what these guys are saying here, guys. Yeah, it's true. And this could be what's going to happen in California. Could get a huge flood, and they may well get one. This is why you need to prep and be prepared, guys. This is why you need to prep and be prepared, because this is what can happen. And it's just one of those things that happens. I mean, California can burn one year and drown the next, and it's always been the case, historically speaking. When I was a kid, one of the textbooks or articles I read when I was grammar school said we had the most stable climate over the last 100 years that we could find in the geological record, which is great for our agriculture. They didn't know why it was so stable. Maybe we were being blessed by the powers above, but maybe things are just returning to normal now. A lot of people are harping on all the problems we're having, and they always want to come right here. But when you look back through the geological record, you'll find it's been a lot more unstable. It's been hotter, and it's been colder. I can show you all of that. So, yeah, and they're changing in order to change all the laws in our country, change our whole system. This is why they preach this stuff, guys. It's so they can support the slobber Klaus, the Klaus of House, the House of Klaus. So they can support that junk that they're trying to force us into. They want to put us all in 15-minute cities where you can't go anywhere beyond where you can walk in 15 minutes. I'll talk about that more in the next video on Swivelhead News. Anyway, now we're talking about weather. We might as well come here and have a look at it, right? Let me do a page refresh to make sure this is up to date. Yeah, well, here, 16 degrees down here at Colorado, New Mexico state line. Yeah, snow all up in here, western Kansas, eastern Colorado, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New England. Just on the edge of Maine there. You got any snow in your days? Probably had some. Here, 35 in Memphis. So we're getting kind of cool here now. 30 in St. Louis, 28 in Kansas City. Phoenix is a balmy 41, same as San Jose and Los Angeles and Phoenix are all the same temperature. That's strange. 35 in Tucson. Show low is 16. Snowflake is 25. When I look at that, Holbrook is 19. Show low is 16. The Snowflake's 25. How's that? Why is Snowflake warmer? Jesse, why is Snowflake warmer? Somebody let out a lot of hot air there or something? Ain't enough people there to let out a lot of hot air. Jesse, no, he's from there. Let's check up Alberta where Mr. Schmidt's at. Well, here, 34 in Edmonton. 30, yeah, it's actually warm up here in middle Alberta. Northern Alberta is getting cool. 23. Fort Smith, 12. A lot of temperature range in Alberta. Look, Alberta's huge. Y'all may not realize it, but if you go top to bottom, Alberta just about cover most of the United States, north to south. Alberta is huge. British Columbia is huge. I've been in each of these areas. I've been up here in the Yukon Territory. And it is snowing pretty good up in the Yukon Territory. Delta Junction is 8 degrees. I lived there once. Fairbanks is 1. Now that's odd. When I lived at Delta Junction, it's usually like 10 degrees warmer than Fairbanks. What's going on? Colder, I mean, colder. Fairbanks was usually warmer. Nome is -6. That's not really cold for this time of the year. Barrow's -6. Dead Horse is -11. -17 up here. Where they had one of the gold rushes, Mackenzie River here, -17. Inuit names. Oh, what else? All right, -51 here in central Siberia, -51 degrees. Oh, -58 right here. -58. Starting to get them chilly, -58 degrees. We got Norway in the house. Let's go look at Norway. Pickaxe, how you doing? Wacky Weather Information Base. There you go. Greg, have you ever been to Kekona, Alaska? Probably. That where the heart was located. I probably drove through there. I'm pretty sure I drove through there. I drove from Anchorage to Fort Greely. Oh, look at here. Is Ukraine frozen? Oh, yeah, it's getting close to it, but 32 is a little too warm. So when's the tanks going to roll? When are tanks rolling? I expect tanks might be rolling pretty soon. It gets cold enough. If it don't get cold enough real quick, it's just going to be a mud bath, and that's what in a couple of weeks all that area is going to be a mud bath. So Putin's wanting to have a spring offensive. He better do it here in the wintertime. Let's go up to Norway. Got Norway in the house. Okay, anybody from any other country? I will never go outside if it's -58. I personally have seen -79 degrees Fahrenheit. That was a temperature on main base, Fort Greely, Alaska, in 1981. We had one of our test ranges, Bolio Lake, actually recorded -80 degrees. All right, 32 right here, guys. So you got one place that's right at freezing, 19 over here, all around here, 12, 7 degrees. 8, yeah. Norway's chilled down some from last time we looked at it. Look up here, 34, way up here, 35. Getting in northern Norway, and it's warmer. 39 up here. That's the Gulf Stream, guys. That's what the Gulf Stream's coming in. 35 up here. But you get any distance inland, and it gets cold in here. There, 37. Wow. Got some snow there, though. 37. You gotta be kidding me. It's warmer right up here in northern. This is like Arctic Circle stuff. Warmer up there than it is way down here. A lot warmer. Holy walking smoke-a-moly, guys. Yeah, weather is a funny thing. That's way up there. That's cold land. Here's Finland. Russia's got a lot of their military bases right here. The reason I don't want Finland to go NATO is because they just got one road running up through here, and the Finns could take that road out, supplying all these rescue bases up here. Iceland. My dad spent some time up in Iceland, World War II, before he went over to England. And then went into Germany, parachuted into combat. All right, guys, that's kind of the world as we have it right now. TT, that's all. They drink a lot. Yeah, folks up north do, the Arctic areas. They do drink a lot. Swamp monkeys. I'd be a bit reticent to break one of them donkeys. Oh, insane in the membrane. Oh, Russian winters have been their best weapon. Yeah, that's true. It certainly worked against Napoleon's army and the Germans too when they cut off the supplies in the wind. Okay. It's lower in altitude. They are at the edge of the juniper grass vegetation. Yeah, definitely got the juniper forest there. juniper bushes. Been there, seen them. Lots of juniper bushes. Oh, it's milkable. The Russian Poseidon missile, that's a torpedo. Will cause climate change overnight. Yeah, that could destroy the whole nation, guys. Those things are awful. Chickweed has a sweet, grassy flavor that makes a nice addition to salads. Yeah, you just don't want to eat too much of it because it's rich in oxalic acid. But and it's got a little bit of a twang to it due to that. But yeah, just don't eat great big gobs of it. It's not good for your kidneys. You do. I asked what the names Mainers call moose besides swamp donkeys. Oh, hood ornaments. No, you do not want one as a hood ornament. No. You don't want to go there, folks. Hang on. I'm going to talk about that before I do. I'm going to finish showing something here, guys. Here. Join our Survival Tribe Network, guys. We need to do that. Also go to freedomrestorationfoundation.org. I've got other channels. Serenity Soothing Sounds. If I get y'all too upset with the stuff I'm talking about, you can play these videos at night and put you to sleep. Rain on the tin roof of my log barn, my peeper frogs in the spring. I got a whole file of sound videos I'm planning to eventually upload here, but it takes forever to upload this stuff. All right, this is my Product Papa's channel. If I go to the flea market Sunday, I would go live on Product Papa's. There were 2 videos, one of them I've hidden. But you want to see me Sunday live, Product Papa's. I won't guarantee I'll go there, but if I do, and when I do, that's where I'm going to be carrying it from now on. This is my Galactic Greg Space channel. This should be my biggest channel. I'm a space guy. Anyway, so check out Galactic Greg's. I got a bunch of content put there. This is this channel. All right. Here is my Rumble Swivelhead News channel. I actually got a Rumble Green Greg's also. And this video, we talk about where this stuff comes from, guys. We name names. This video is, I'm surprised we hadn't been taking a lot of heat for that. And in this video, toward the end, we talk about ways to extend your life, get rid of plaque and so forth, blood veins. And so this is my Rumble Swivelhead News. I suppose New Days will be sharing this stuff with y'all. This is my YouTube Swivelhead News, and this is where we're going. We're going to go here in just a couple of minutes, and we got some other stuff to talk about. Right here. I'm sure New Days is grabbing this. I might put it in here. What do we have in the house tonight? Have I missed anybody? Oh, thank God I was mostly Asia. What are you talking about their drops? Eskimo Ice Cream Company. There you go. Hey, listen, don't knock it. When I was at Fort Greely, Alaska, that's going to yeah, we're going to go here to Swivelhead News. Back to Graves. I am going to stop the share. And we're going to bing, bing. was something else I was going to talk about a minute ago. I didn't forget what it was. I was going to stop this share. There's something else I was going to talk about. Y'all got talking about ice cream. You think it's funny, the idea of Eskimo ice cream. Why would Eskimos want to buy ice cream? Oh, they definitely would. They definitely would eat it. When I was stationed at Fort Greely, Delta Junction got their first ever fast food shop. The first ever fast food franchise shop opened at Fort Greely, Alaska in 81, 82 time frame. Guess is, yeah, guess probably 82. Thank you, Tim. So guess what their first fast food restaurant was? What would be a first fast food that you'd want to see in a place like Delta Junction, Alaska? 100 miles from the nearest red light. All right, that's where we're going, guys. Yeah, I was wondering, Granny's not in the house. Swivel head news. So, what would be a first ice cream you scream? Yeah, Felicia, I think you're hitting on it. Yeah. No, not a Taco Bell. Nope. Taco Bell too hot. Terry Queen. Yeah, you're getting close to it. Crystal, nope. Felicia's the closest. All right, I'll break it to you. The first thing was a Tasty Freeze ice cream. It was actually a franchise. Tasty Freeze ice cream shop. Now, guys, there was nothing like it's 60 below outside. You're Japanese built Honda engine on my generator. Okay. It's 60 degrees below outside. You're driving and you got these big plastic vapor barriers over your window so you can so that the hoarfrost won't form inside your vehicle, so you can see where you're going. You got one on the back, one on each side windshield, because you ain't rolling them side windows down in the wintertime, no way. So you put these vapor barrier plastic bubbles on the inside of your windshields. That's the only place you're gonna be able to see out of your side windshields. But your challenge is to alternate between, now your vehicle's radiator is totally covered over with cardboard. It's not exposed to direct air flowing in. And you're going down the road, switching between your heater and your defrost. You got to run the defrost some as you drive, so you'll have a little hole to see out of as you're driving. And the frost is forming on the inside of the windshield. It's called hoarfrost. Yeah, it forms on the inside. So you're fighting between the formation of hoarfrost and your feet freezing. So you're sitting there switching between heat and defrost. It's 60 below outside. You're trying to keep your feet from freezing, but you're also trying to see where you're going. So you're switching back and forth the selector between heat and defrost as you're on your way to get an ice cream. That's Alaska. That is Alaska. I swear. We had one, but we called it nasty freeze, what it might have been. It was so cold up there, though. One thing in Alaska, you didn't have cockroaches. They couldn't handle it. Unless you're in a big city or somewhere where I guess they can survive in buildings and go back and forth. Where we're at, we didn't have no cockroaches. One of your first jobs was a Tasty Freeze. How about that? Tasty Freeze ice cream was the first thing I don't know. I doubt it's still there, but that was pretty humorous. But look, you would burn the calories up there. See, that was the thing about the ice cream up there. It wasn't going to make you fat. You eat all you want. And actually, it would warm you up because it's got so much caloric content. Yeah, it might be cold eating, but it would warm you up. So food like that was real popular in Alaska. I remember I went to Richardson Roadhouse, which is when they had these roadhouses up and down the highways up there. They had been historically like a combo inn, restaurant, hotel, kind of, all that above. You could stop at them. Gas station, probably a livery stables back in the old days. But yeah, you go in one of those places and order something like an ice cream and say, oh yeah, just give me a little scoop of ice cream. I've literally went in and asked for a little scoop a little single scoop of ice cream, and then give me a ball on top of a cone. I swear, that big, and go. Credit card is great when hey, I was doing that outside here back a few days ago. Betsy Blue, because I had a load of gravel coming in. I had to move it. And it's frosty that morning. So I swear, ginormous. And that was a little scoop. Now everything's big in Alaska. Forget Texas. Alaskans used to make jokes about Texans all the time. First time I ever saw a rubber machine in a men's restroom. Oh, Tasty Freeze. Oh my God. And maybe it was a Nasty Freeze. Yikes. Yikes. That's odd. Tasty Freeze. That is weird. What kind of Tasty Freeze y'all have there? Oh my God. Lord. Anyway. So that was a pretty funny situation. But yeah, I went and ordered a small omelet for breakfast, and they brought me this big 4-egg omelet. You know, it's like, yeah, you order something small and they're going to feed you, but you know, you'll burn the calories. We could put those stick on transparent screens back in the 60s and 70s, very popular in the winter when your engine was cold. Mandatory VW Beetles. Yeah, I had a battery blanket on my battery and the engine heater and my engine. And we had a hitching post in front of our house we'd plug everything into. Guys out in the bush, though, they didn't have all that. They would have to take the battery out and keep it in the house overnight and put it back in. Oh, yeah. How would electric vehicles do in that circumstance? Yeah, they couldn't leave the battery in their vehicle. They had to take it out, take it in the house, and then bring it back and put it in their vehicle in the morning. They're messing around with a battery like that with wrenches. And at 60 below, if you grab the tool, your hand freezes to the tool. You had to have that tool preheated, and you would still be wearing gloves. You could not do all that stuff without wearing gloves. And you really need to wear mittens up there. Gloves you'd be in trouble real fast with gloves on. So just imagine doing, you know, mechanic work in mittens. Yeah, it was a challenge. Life was not easy in Alaska. It was tough. Life's tough. Fireweed honey's ice cream from roast shells at the entrance to Lake Alaska. So fireweed honey ice cream. Wow, that sounds good, WTF. I never had that. Never had that. That does sound good. Another thing, you know, when I first saw Northern Exposure, it's supposed to be Alaska. The first thing I looked at that and said, that is not Alaska. Everything looks too nice. It's too refined. Alaska's gritty. Alaska's coarse. I said, that is not Alaska. There's filming this somewhere else. I found later it was in Seattle. I said, I know one thing, that is not Alaska. Now, I don't know, you know, it's been, you know, gosh, 40 years. I left Alaska in 83, 40 years ago. Yeah, it may be different now. 86, well, thank you for that. Alaska might be different now. All that, we got 104 in the room. We need to get a few more thumbs up, guys. Alaska might be different now, but it can't be too different. It can't be too different. Holy smoke, guys. Logs, moose. Oh, yeah, somebody talked about moose earlier. Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about. Listen, guys, calling moose a hood ornament. No. No, you don't want to go there. A moose is a 2-ton of meat standing on top of 4 pixie sticks that are about yay high, higher than your hood. Okay. If you hit a moose, those little legs are going to pop and fold, and that 2 tons of meat is coming in your windshield. And to make it worse, yeah, Alaska is a skeeter state. I'll talk about that in a minute. To make it worse, listen, when you're driving down the road in Alaska, and the old moose stands, walks up and walks the edge of the road and stops and is looking at you. When you get up that moose, stop. Bring your vehicle to a full stop, because that moose is sitting there looking at you. You think maybe that moose knows you're coming and won't walk out in front of you. Oh, no, no, no. That moose is absolutely going to walk out in front of you. That's what it's waiting on. So you just got to come to a full stop and let it go ahead. Because if you don't, you're going to be eating moose, or you're going to be moose squish. That moose will be through your windshield on top of you. You do not want to hit a moose. I did have a friend who ran into a moose at, low enough velocity he didn't clip it over on him. He said that moose just hit the moose. He said the moose just switched his tail and turned around, looked at him, and walked off. In the meantime, his car was steaming, the radiator was all busted, and front end was messed up. Yeah, 6 of them, making mill out of 6 what? Caribou's a different animal. National bird of Alaska. Yeah, the skeeter is the national bird. That's what we used to always say. AK, okay. For the skeeters, no, I'll tell you what, even the little skeeters were bad. The little skeeters, I have walked outside in Alaska wearing green and looked down at my pants, my shirt, my back. And all I saw was black, solid mosquitoes, completely covered. You could not see your clothes because you would be covered completely in mosquitoes. In Alaska, summertime, you're going to wear long sleeves outside. You're going to button everything down. You're going to pull that hat, pull the collar up, pull the hat down. You need a bee suit. Holy smoke, it's rough. You need a bee suit. Your boots, you're going to have your boots bloused in, your pants legs bloused into your boots because you do not want that skeeter going up your leg. Or those skeeters, they'd eat you alive. Moose hooves are razor sharp. You don't want to, yeah. The deadliest animal in Alaska is not a grizzly bear. It's not a wolf. It's a moose. More people die from moose in Alaska than anything else. Moose. You do not want a moose to get after you. And another thing, bison will kill you too. If you're in Utah or anywhere you got, there was actually a bison herd at Fort Greely. Oh yeah, those things will kill you. And the deadliest animal in Africa, the single deadliest African animal is a hippopotamus. I swear. All righty. Thank you, ladies, for being here. We're going to, everybody is hanging on. We're going to go to Swivelhead News. We're going to talk about Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, and some other stuff. They have a new combo bear now, grizzly and polar pizzly. Yeah, well, they're probably just breeding because there's so many darn grizzly bears, polar bears right now. They tell you it's because of climate change. Nah, shoot, it ain't that. Let's see. What am I talking about here? Oh yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about federal agencies withholding data on the bug. And hang on, guys. Oh, yeah. Here I am. We're going to talk about that and data they withheld on. We'll talk a little bit about that. And we're going to talk about the house of Klaus. All right, good night. Happy prepper dreams there, lady. She's in New Jersey, guys. All right, so actually, New Days likes New Jersey quite a bit. 113 in the house. Pretty darn good given the time we're on here. Buffalo. Yeah, I've eaten a little. Skeeters are bad in LA too. But you just won't believe how bad they are in Alaska. I ain't never seen mosquitoes like that. Nothing close. That was awful. Even look how they got mosquitoes up there have antifreeze in their blood. They call them snow mosquitoes. They will actually be out when there's still some snow on the ground. I was laying on Donnelly's Dome on maneuvers one night up in Alaska trying to sleep, rolled up in a shelter half around my sleeping bag, and there's a darn skeeter buzzing in my ear. I thought, what? There's no ground. There's a skeeter in my ear. You got to be kidding me. Garden State, absolutely. Yeah, it is. They got some pretty places up there, what I hear. Code breaker. All righty, guys. So let's go over to Swivelhead News. Swivelhead News. That's where we're heading. And yeah. Let's see here. I do believe New Days has shared this link to Swivelhead News. Mosquitoes are bad in Houston, Texas. Yeah, lady, I've been to Houston, Texas. Used to go there a lot for my work, and I got a daughter, grandkids in Houston. Thank you for sharing that new days. That's where we're going. There you go, wizard. All righty. Lots of good tomatoes from New Jersey. All right, very good then. It earns that Garden State title then. All righty. I could read a poem, or I could do it on the other channel. Hey guys, talking about Russia. I'm gonna read a poem I wrote back. And we're gonna go. I wrote this poem. So that 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I wrote this poem. I need to update it. 6 years ago. Tell me what you think about this. I called it Evoking Everlasting Global Goodbye. Yeah, there's a little bit of alliteration there, right? All the world's media is rooting and tooting to attack the little man, Vladimir Putin. High horse Hillary wanted a zone of no fly to shoot Russian MiGs out of the Syrian sky. After listening to his cadre of war hawks, out Trump's trunk throwing tomahawks. McCain certainly yearns in Syria to erase Russia's only Mediterranean Navy base. Toward our ships in the brine so wavy, steadily streams Vladimir's nuclear navy. In the past, thought of a nuclear war was no joke. Today, we can't wait to give the bear a sharp poke. The bear now has little cover, and that is a fact. We've taken away the nations from the Warsaw Pact. Ponder the possibility that Putin does care that NATO forces now surround the bear. The flames of war will rapidly fan when we attack the bear's last allies, Syria and Iran. The bear knows it will be in a bind, and it is definitely the next in line. Worldly wisdom was once never corner a bear. Now we are too blind and mad to even care. Now I've seen the world go so giddy. Never have I seen the world so giddy with glee to push all the buttons to launch World War III. For the sake of some localized or regional war, we run the risk of nuclear missiles to soar. Those little things over which we desire to fight would be blasted and burned out of sight. Please ponder, what will it really matter when all that you've loved is blasted to splatter? Our world, our natural world with all its supreme splendor would be reduced to lifeless smoke and cinder. Carefully consider whilst crying for war, that you and yours may be nevermore. Okay, I've not read that poem in years. That was my first reading. I just found the file. All right, so I wasn't so smooth with it as I would have been if I'd have practiced. I should have practiced it. I need to rewrite it. What do y'all think about that, guys? Y'all like that? That was 6 years ago, because at that time we were contemplating actually attacking Syria to take out al-Assad. And we were also looking at possibly attacking Iran back then, but mainly Syria. That was all the talk back then. Well, we need to attack Syria, and they got to take out Assad. Blah 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 blah. Don't need to change it at all. Well, it is dated now. I might need a new version for where we're at today. All this way. Yeah. We're about to talk about some of them elitists. Some of them elitists. That's where we're going on Soilhead News. That's what we're going to talk about. We got over 300 tomatoes off to one plant. Wow, David, that's good. Alrighty, folks. Hey, thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank y'all for watching. And with that, I see that there's always, maybe I should always read a poem at the end. There should always be a treat at the end, right? For those who would stay. Winter, August cooled some from a hot July. They just went nuts. Huge plants. Wow, very good. Yeah, payment, can't argue with that. That's where they need to be. We got to be careful what we're saying here, though. All right, guys, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all very much for being here. And meet us over at Swivelhead News. Everybody over there. Let's all jump to Swivelhead News. Everybody, every one of you. Come on. We won't be over there all that long.